Hello, I'm Bret Moss, and you're watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. Our guest today is Robyn Busfield. Robyn is an author and a teacher who specializes in energy awareness as it relates to self-actualization. Robyn was raised in Sydney, Australia. She now resides in Southern California, where she's lived for the past 10 years. Robyn Busfield, welcome to The Defining Moment. It's really a pleasure for me to welcome you here to our show.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Thanks for coming. Our topic today is self-awareness and intuition. And I'd like to get started by asking you to share a defining moment from your own life which impacted your own awareness of self.
Okay. Well, going back, when I very first moved to America, this is about a decade ago, I came to California, and it was based on a very strong urge, very strong gut feeling that I had from within to move here to California. And at that point in my life, I was really intrigued with the gut feeling. I knew that there was something inside of me that was guiding me, that seemed to have answers that I wasn't aware of in my mind or in my brain. I didn't, I found that there was, around the corner, there would be things that would happen where if I had listened to my gut feeling, the outcome would be great. If I ignored it, the outcome would not be so great. So I had recognized at this point that gut feeling was an important part of my life, but I was still yet to really understand what the gut feeling was or where it came from, and I was very intrigued. So this gut feeling had led me to California, very strong gut feeling, and I hadn't been here that long, and a friend of a friend actually gave me a tape one day. This tape was all about our inner guidance and this inner friend, this inner voice that speaks through us, which I like to call our soul. And people refer to it as spirit, soul, inner friend, inner voice. It's all the same. And when I received this tape, it was just like the heavens had opened up, and there was this answer was there. It was clear, and it allowed me to really come to understand that there's a friend inside of me that was guiding me every moment of every day. Every time I would be seeking an answer and this gut feeling would come through, it was my soul. It was this inner guidance, and it was always there. And I had recognized there was this inner voice, but I didn't quite know that it was always there, but I just wasn't really so aware of it or paying attention to it all the time. So this tape that was given to me allowed me to take a closer look at it and come to understand that this inner friend is with me every moment of every day. I just have to be aware and tune in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very interesting. Now, how do our physical body and soul interact with each other?
The physical part of us, over the years as I've studied this, I've come to believe and understand that the physical aspect of us is in the biblical term, ask and you shall receive. The physical part of us is the asking stage, and then the spiritual, the soul part of us is the answering, the receiving. So as we ask and we think a question, ask and we shall receive. Ask and then the gut feeling comes through. So that's how I see the physical and the soul coming together to create. So as we go through life and we ask a question, the soul answers, and then as we're wondering what's next in our life, like where do I go from here, or which job should I take, which car should I buy, it's like we're always being guided. And so we ask the question, and then the answers are always coming through. So I believe that in a sense that's a wholeness of us coming together, understanding the ability to truly ask and receive.
Mm-hmm. And then how is our soul connected to the universe itself?
I believe that the soul is this inner spiritual part of us that is our truth. The body is the vehicle for this lifetime, and I believe that the soul is the truth of us that's actually an extension of all that is God. I like to say God, love, energy, but it's an extension of God, and it's like this extension of God is pouring through us and giving us this universal information. We have at our fingertips pure universal knowledge, all of us, every single one of us. We have the answers from this universal energy, from God love energy, and it's always pouring through us. We have a choice whether to listen to the soul and remain connected throughout the day, or we disconnect from the soul. And when we disconnect, that happens from the energy of fear. When we're connected to the soul, that happens from the energy of love. So when we're disconnecting, the fear takes us in this direction of takes us out of our direction, I should say. It takes us off our path. It removes us from being able to fully focus and stay focused on the journey where our soul wishes us to go. And so when we're in our loving frame of mind and we're connected to our soul, then we're continually receiving the guidance. So when we're disconnected, it's very hard to receive our guidance from our soul, because then we're kind of on our own. It's like the body kind of is moving aside from the soul. We're just connecting. We're feeling emotions of fear, anger, distraught, frustration, all those feelings of fear coming from a guilt energy from within, a judgment, a self-judgmental energy from within will disconnect us from our soul, from our source, from God. So what we want to do is start paying attention during the day to the way that we feel within, and then also to focus on loving thoughts. What we focus on and what we think about brings our soul out of us or allows our soul to shine through us and bring the loving energy through us. So when we stay very aware of what we're focusing on during the daytime, and we focus on loving thoughts, then we will stay connected, and we will receive guidance and intuition throughout the day. And to me, that's just been a huge awakening in my life, is to realize that now I know how to stay connected on an ongoing basis. Now I know how to allow my soul to shine through me and to bring messages of love, and to speak love instead of disconnecting and being on my own. So before, when I felt alone, on my own, lost, confused, I've come to a place now of feeling like I'm not on my own anymore. I feel like there is this higher part of me, this extension of all that is, of God love energy, that's always here. And it's this friend that just is, which is truly me, truly this spiritual part of me that's here guiding me all the way. And it feels amazing to be connected to that on an ongoing basis, providing harmony on an ongoing basis instead of being distraught and upset and frustrated. Today I never feel alone. I always feel that I have guidance, support, something wiser than I ever could have dreamed in my mind. I mean, I receive intuition, I receive knowledge, I ask, I go about the day and I'm like, okay, I know that there's this connection from God love energy. I know there's this connection coming through me, and I know I'm connected to it. And I know I'm connected to it because I'm not focusing on fearful thoughts. I'm not allowing that to rule my day. I'm focusing on the loving energy and allowing that to come through me.
Okay, very clear. Now I want to talk a little bit about one way you go about allowing that to happen, and that is through meditation. So how can meditation strengthen our connection to our soul? Meditation
is really important. To take time out as we go about our day, and where our thoughts are here and we're everywhere, and it is hard to stay connected if we're not so aware of what that place really is. So to get to that place and strengthen our connection with our soul, thence all that is to take some quiet time and really spend time away from the noise. And what we do in meditation is we quieten our thoughts,
yes.
We quieten our thinking, and what we do is we start taking deep breaths. And that's how I begin my meditation, is I'll take a few deep breaths, and then the thoughts, what we find that, because we're so used to thinking, that the thoughts will still come in. So what we want to do is we want to, as soon as they come in, release the thought. And then keep focusing on our breathing. The more we focus on our breathing, then those thoughts will stay away. So what we want to do is continually release the thoughts And just realize that the connection, what we're doing here in meditation, is we are actually inviting our soul to fully join us. We're inviting God, love energy, to fully join us in this moment. And then if we can spend each day, to begin with, 15, 20 minutes each day is a good amount of time. If you don't have that much time, even whatever you have that you can, 5, 10 minutes, if you can put that time aside, that's still time that you're spending with your soul and with God love energy. So it's really important to begin with. If you're really wanting to connect to your soul, you're really wanting to receive guidance and answers on an ongoing basis, to spend that time in meditation. Start with 5 or 10 minutes if that's comfortable. Move to 15, 20 minutes. Some people like to meditate for hours. For me personally, each day, 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes if I've got the time, I'll spend a bit longer. But I find that what happens, or over time, is that we get used to that. We start to go, okay, that feels really good. We feel that peaceful, loving, ongoing connection. As we're meditating, we can actually be receiving intuition. Once we really start to get into that peaceful, connected stage, we can actually, when we're aware, that intuition, we don't be too aware in our meditation, but it's kind of like an awareness that's kind of there on a different level. It's not like it's a thinking. It's not like we're looking.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to look for it.
Usually when people start a meditation practice, the first thing they have to deal with are all the thoughts that are just occupying the brain, the mind, right?
Yeah.
That's the first step, is just kind of process through all those thoughts.
See the thoughts. Well, before we start the meditation, we could ask some questions. If we have some questions on our mind about certain things that we're wishing to find answers for. But the thing is that we've been taught in society to think so much of the time. We're continually thinking, and what happens is every time we think, you don't think and feel at the same time. So what happens is that we think and then we feel. So when we remove all those thoughts in meditation, the feelings, the soul, can just pour through, and give us knowledge. But it is a good idea. You can have fun with it. You can ask. Usually, I like to ask one question before, if I have a question before meditation, because if you ask a few and then you're receiving the answers, and you got to kind of match them, so to speak.
Now, when you ask a question, are you asking it in the form of a prayer, in a sense, to God?
It depends. It could be, if we've got to make a decision about which job to take, or, where to go for a holiday, or it could be like spending time with a loved one, and maybe we've had a fallout, and how we can join again in
reconcile,
love. Yeah, and we can ask the question before the meditation. And the thing is that what I try not to do is to look for the answers in meditation, because when we ask, you receive at any point throughout the day. It doesn't have to be in meditation. I don't really use meditation personally to get a lot of answers like that. It can be used in that way, especially if you're going to spend a couple of hours. It definitely can get a lot of information flowing. But I like to look at it as that I ask, and then whenever the time's right, I'll receive.
The answer comes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Very interesting. How does meditation allow us to increase our self-awareness?
Let's just say we're doing it on a continual basis. We're doing it each day, 15, 20 minutes a day, and a number of months have passed by. What happens is our connection with our soul will strengthen. We will find that we're beginning to understand what it feels like to maintain that connection. Once we've maintained it for 15, 20 minutes at a time, and we come out of it and we go back into our day, and the thoughts start coming on, the problems, worries, we realize how important it is to be connected. So as time goes by, and we've been spending time meditating on a daily basis, we have actually strengthened our connection with our soul. And I believe that it is the most important thing we can do throughout our day, is to learn to feel a lot more than we think. We go about our day and we worry about this, and and frustrated about that, and we're running here, and we're trying, we're struggling, and all these things are going on around us, and we're so out there. You know.
So many of us, we associate our very being with thinking, that we're thinking beings. So meditation helps us to, in a sense, have a more deeper understanding of who we really are on a spiritual level.
Yeah, to release those thoughts and be able to receive and feel the guidance coming through from within, understanding what that's all about. So as we go about our daily life, we're able to connect to the soul on an ongoing basis. It's so important. I mean, you know, ask and we shall receive. It's not like saying that don't ask or don't think. Of course, we're that's the way.
You don't throw thinking away. You don't throw it. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, but we could reduce it substantially.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're taught that the answers are out there. We need to to search and struggle and try and it's out there and someone else is going to tell me the answer. But really, at the end of the day, even if someone says to you, they come along, they go, I have the answer, they tell you. Really, you're going to say, okay, how does that feel? You're going to ask yourself, are you really going to take their answer and just run with it? You really are going to say to yourself, well, okay, how does that feel? Okay, that feels good. I like what they said. I'm going to go with that. But we always do come back to the way we feel within. And it's important to realize that, not just in someone giving us an answer during the day, but as we go about our entire day, every time we make a decision, when we're on the road, we're making a turn, when we arrive at work and we walk through the door and the phones start ringing, to be guided, to remember that those answers are there. We do have help, and we do have access to to the universal knowledge. And I think that we lose sight of that. We really do. We think more. We're going about our day and we're looking for answers out there. But deep within, we do know there's that little feeling that says, hey, listen or don't listen.
Okay. Well, you talked about gut feelings at the beginning of the interview, and I think you're talking about that again. So you place a lot of importance on gut feelings.
Yes.
Tell us more about that, please.
I really believe that over the years, talking to people about their gut feelings, I found that, I say to someone, I go, well, where do your gut feelings come from? Where do you, what's this coming through? And they go, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. I'm like, well, don't you think that there's something interesting going on here? Because if you're making a decision to go this way or that way, and then you get a feeling to do this, and later you go, wow, that was right. Well, how come something new, the future, so to speak, something new where they're like, oh yeah, I never really thought about that. But I believe that the gut feelings play a huge, important role. Not just daily, momentarily. They play
moment by moment.
Moment by moment, ask and you shall receive. If you ask a question, get quiet, let it go. Let go, let God. That's what that means. Let go, let God. Because when we do, it'll come through.
Let go, let God is what you said.
Let go, let God is really, let go of the frustration, the anxiety, the anger, the torment. Let it go. Because when you will let it go, the love will come through. The answers will come through. The truth. And
you're talking about God's love will come through.
God's love, God love energy, as I like to say, will come through. The truth will come through. It can only come through in a connected state. Connection is connecting to the soul. Over the years, questioning people, it's like they don't realize that it is this spiritual connection to universal energy, universal knowledge. We have all the answers within. When we understand, ask and you shall receive, and we can be connected in the moment once we ask, those answers will come through. Maybe in the next moment, maybe in the next hour, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, but it's not usually that far away. The answers will come through, and we do have them. And trusting in ourselves, in that spiritual part of ourselves, that link to God, it's just so fulfilling. It's just amazing when we can really tap into that, tune in, and know that the answers are all within. Sometimes answers don't necessarily have to come directly from within here. Most of the time I find they do. I'll be walking around the house and then, or out on the road in the car, and then this feeling will come up, and it's like a knowing inside, an answer. It can come through as I might even actually hear the words inside. The words come to me, or this feeling, it's like a knowing, an inner knowing goes, yeah, that's it, there it is. And then, I can go about the day, and it could be like, the answer I've seen answers on billboards. Mm-hmm. You see answers on the television, mm-hmm. in a TV show. Mm-hmm. You go and meet with a friend, and you've been asking a question, and the other day I got an answer in an email. And I'm like, was I asking that question? Yeah, I was. Yesterday I was. I was trying to,
So you relate to the world around you as if there's a conversation going on sometimes.
But we've got to remember the final answer, the ultimate answer is always within. Mm-hmm. We could receive the answer in an email on the billboard or around us, mm-hmm. and it could be in words here. But then we've got to go back here and say, oh, is that my answer? Does that feel? Mm-hmm. And we'll know. We'll get this little yes. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes we'll get a little no and go, no, it's just whatever, just keep going.
So you allow the universe to speak to you in a sense.
Yeah, allow, universal energy, God love energy. I mean, it's, our soul is an extension of God, is my belief. And
for that to be effective, you have to really be living in the moment, in the right now, moment by moment. You can't be... be living actually...
in the moment, listening, knowing. I think that the greatest message is knowing that we really have information, coming from within. I mean, even if it's on a billboard and the words are out there, then we look and we go, well, is that my answer? It's going to come from within. It's like our soul. It's our best friend. It's with us on this journey, and it wants us to. Be happy and joyous and fulfilled and to to have a good time on this journey, But when we get disconnected through fear, anxiety, worry, complaining, I say actually worry is the number one disconnection in my eyes. Complaining, mm-hmm. I'd say rates a pretty close second.
Okay.
We don't realize, but how often do we complain and worry? But when we're doing that and we're disconnected, then we're not, how can our soul speak to us? How can spirit come through us? How can we be receiving the answers that we're looking for when we're disconnecting? Fear and love do not coincide. They cannot exist in the same arena, mm-hmm. Same space. When we disconnect, when we move into our fear zone of the disconnected feelings, of anxiety, worry, complaining, concern, when we do that, we're kind of moving aside. So we're not really allowing our soul to join with us, or God to join with us. We're kind of basically, every time we get disconnected by fear, we're basically saying, no, this is, I'm choosing fear right now. So I'm choosing to be alone. Mm-hmm. I'm choosing to be separate. And then when we say, no, okay, I've got the answers are within, then we're saying, I choose my soul, I choose God, I choose love. And the more that we stay connected, then the answers will flow, love will flow. We're able to share love with people, we're able to receive love, because then it's like an opening. It's like feelings of fear and disconnection it's like being closed off. And then the love is like an opening. It's like it just comes through. Mm-hmm.
So what I hear you saying is that as you connect more to soul, it's bringing you closer to God.
Yes. Soul is an extension from God.
It's our connection to God.
Yeah. It's that God part of us that exists within us, that resides within us. He created us in His image, in the image of spirit, in the image, and that's connection is within each and every one of us. Each and every one of us have that connection.
But we have to take the time to connect, to nurture that.
We do.
If we don't, we miss out on it.
If we, the meditation time, that's why it's so important. Because if we choose to just get up in the morning, go about our day, and then we're here and there, and our thoughts are all out there, and we're then we don't realize, but we really are disconnected most of the time. Really. We're trying, we're struggling, we're going here, we're rushing. You know, that trying and struggling, I watch myself. If I use those words, I've got to try and do this. Or I need this. You know, I try and I listen to what I'm saying. And
it kind of gives you an idea of where you're at.
And we know also, our soul tells us, you know, we know in the moment, if we're disconnecting, we get the guidance. Every time we disconnect, we're given this feeling from our soul that it's like, it's interesting because we're doing it to ourselves, and it's like as we separate from the soul, there's a bad feeling exists within, that uncomfortable feeling, the feeling you get when you feel anxiety and, you know, when we're frustrated and angry. Those feelings that we get within are feelings of disconnection. It's our soul saying, see you later. You know, you're kind of over there now, and I can't really, you know, and it's kind of like, it's letting us know, come back. It's letting us know, okay, you're disconnected right now. Let go, let God.
Kind of a wake-up call.
Yeah.
But do we listen? But whether we listen to it or not is really up to us.
And we don't realize, we go about the day and we're trying and struggling, and you know, and we don't realize that we are actually, you know, disconnecting every time we worry and complain. And just, you know, we need to keep an eye on that and watch each time we worry. Just any slightest worry, disconnecting, complaining about anything, the dog barking.
Or being afraid would be another.
Yeah, well, fear, you know, there's love and there's fear. So the fear, all energies of fear that are disconnecting, like anger and frustration, they're all stemming from fear. There's only two energies, love or fear. So every time we're disconnecting, we're feeling crappy within, or we're feeling, every time we're feeling uncomfortable within, where those feelings are letting us know that we're not connecting to our source energy, and we need to really pay attention to the way that we feel. When we are very aware of our soul on a moment-to-moment basis, it's just there, always guiding us, helping us to stay connected to God love energy.
Okay, well, Robyn, on that note, you won't believe it, we're already out of time. I want to thank you so much for what you've shared with us. If people want to get a hold of your book about self-actualization is called "It's Time to Get Selfish." How can they purchase your book?
I have a website, www.itstimetogетselfish.com.
Okay, great. So, Robyn, thank you so much for being our guest today on The Defining One. I really appreciate everything you shared with us today.
Thanks, Bret, for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks for being here. You've been watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. You can find us on the internet at www.definingmoment.tv. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.